Between December 22nd and 28th, horror keeps looking up and realizing the sky is not on our side. Sometimes the invasion is subtle, a foggy city, a friendly face, a voice that sounds like someone you love, until it doesn't. Sometimes it's louder, Cold War nerves, Toho spectacle, the sense that something vast has arrived and humanity is just background noise. And sometimes the threat isn't from above at all. Sometimes it's already inside the house, inside the body, inside the room where people whisper prayers and hold on until morning, hoping whatever's there finally lets go. This is the week where the holidays don't bring comfort, they bring the perfect cover. Welcome back to This Week in Horror History. I'm your host, Enrique Couto, and this episode covers December 22nd through December 28th, 7 days where paranoia blooms, exorcisms end, and the holidays get quietly, beautifully ruined. Tonight's episode features a famous Midwestern exorcism reaching its final exhausting days, a high school getting taken over, one smile at a time. A landmark possession story hits theaters and changes horror forever. And a classic Japanese sci-fi invasion film drops right into this week like a shiny, radioactive ornament. Then after the break, we're doing a deep-cut spotlight on one of the coldest, smartest remakes ever made, Invasion of the Body Snatchers, from 1978, and we'll close out with a birthday roll, a then and now, and a weekly recommendation to carry you into the dark. December 23rd, 1928, The Exorcism of Emma Schmidt, aka Anna Eklund, reaches its end in Earling, Iowa. If you've ever gone down the rabbit hole of real exorcism cases, and that is in quotes, this is one of the biggest names in the conversation. According to accounts of the case, the final stretch of the 1928 sessions ran December 15th through December 23rd, 8 brutal days inside a convent. Well, that's a sentence I never thought I'd say, but I also believe. Father Theophilus Reisinger performed the rite while the sisters tried to keep order around a woman said to be experiencing violent possession. Whether you read this as faith, folklore, hysteria, or something even darker, the element that stands out the most is the duration, the sheer grind of it, right through the heart of the holiday season, but over just in time to still have a nice gathering with hors d'oeuvres on Christmas Eve. And this year, in 2025, we saw the release of The Ritual, starring Al Pacino and Dan Stevens, a film all about the exorcism. It was released in theaters during a very crowded time in the middle of the summer, so I haven't caught it yet, but maybe it's worth checking out. December 25th, 1998, The Faculty infects a high school and turns teen horror into a Christmas week body snatcher party. Released on Christmas Day, Robert Rodriguez's The Faculty is what happens when you take Invasion of the Body Snatchers DNA, pour it into a 90s teen movie, and then spike it with paranoia and horror creature nastiness. It cost around $15 million and earned roughly $40 million in the US and Canada, often cited as $63 million worldwide, depending on how you take the grosses. Pretty solid theater business for a sharp, nasty little crowd pleaser that's been a favorite of mine for a very long time. Just the idea of the school faculty going haywire and coming after the students is something that I as a person who dropped out of high school, find very poignant and creepy and believable in a lot of ways. When I was a teenager, I often mistaked this film for another film that came out around the same time called Disturbing Behavior, which was also about all the adults turning on the kids, but not quite the alien invasion element. But The Faculty is an absolute classic. I revisited it a few years ago and loved it. Loved it. If you're thinking about giving it a revisit, well, it's easy to find and free to watch on Tubi and the Roku channel. It's also available on Paramount Plus with your subscription. And of course, you can rent it wherever you usually do that sort of thing. December 26, 1973, The Exorcist arrives and the genre never fully recovers. Man, apparently exorcisms and Christmas go together like peanut butter and cranberry sauce. William Friedkin's The Exorcist opened in the U.S. on December 26th, and, no exaggeration, it rewired what mainstream audiences believed horror was allowed to do. It reportedly cost around $12 million to make and went on to earn $440 million worldwide across all its releases, making it one of the most financially successful horror films ever made. This is the moment possession horror stops being just a spooky idea and becomes a cultural event. Even if you've seen the film a dozen times, it's still very, very layered. There's more to catch with every single viewing of The Exorcist, and of course, if you're Beetlejuice, it just gets funnier every damn time. And right now, it's currently available to rent on your favorite rental platforms like Amazon Prime, Apple TV, and Fandango at home. So why not revisit The Exorcist the day after Christmas, as it was intended to be enjoyed? Plus, it's a lot less offensive than vomiting pea soup on your relatives. December 28th, 1957. The Mysterians lands in Japan, space invasion cinema with Cold War nerves, and that classic Toho spectacle. Released theatrically in Japan on December 28th, The Mysterians, also known as Earth Defense Force, is glossy science fiction with a kaiju-adjacent bite. Aliens arrive, giant robots stomp around, and the whole thing hums with post-war anxiety. It's not horror in the strictest sense, but I don't know, I think that if you have giant monsters stomping around, well, that's pretty horrific. I mean, if that happened to you on the way home from work, you would tell somebody, right? I mean, I would, unless it happened every day, I guess. The film features invasion, helplessness, and that gnawing feeling that the future is arriving, whether you're ready or not. It looks like right now the only way you can watch The Mysterians or Earth Defense Force is by checking it out on the Criterion channel with a membership. This episode of This Week in Horror History is sponsored by Aspire Health Energy, and it's the kind of energy drink I actually like. Unextreme. It's a total antithesis of the 90s, apparently. No sugar, no calories, just a smooth, steady boost with 80 milligrams of natural caffeine from green tea and guarana. So you're not vibrating like you just opened a cursed artifact in a haunted basement. It's lightly carbonated, easy on the stomach, and the flavors are legit. Raspberry acai, sweet cherry, mango lemonade. I'm actually very caffeine sensitive, so having a naturally sourced energy drink means a lot to me if I want to stay up late recording podcasts for you guys without talking somehow even faster than I already do. And my spookies get the highest exclusive discount. Just head to aspiredrinks.com and use promo code SPOOKY at checkout for 20% off any of their drinks. No better deal exists, so head to aspiredrinks.com right now, get yourself something to keep you awake, and know that every purchase, when you get that 20% off with promo code SPOOKY, supports our program directly. All right, my spookies, take a breath because we're about to step into San Francisco. I know you're scared already, but hold on. In 1978, it's foggy, it's crowded, it's beautiful, and the people you love are starting to look like they've been replaced by something that just now learned how to smile. Welcome back. Let's jump right into our deep-cut spotlight. It's Invasion of the Body Snatchers from 1978. What helps this remake stand apart are a few elements. One of them, of course, is that it's so intense and creepy, a lot of people think this is the original, and that later versions that came out in the 90s and early 2000s, those are the remakes. But no, the original Invasion of the Body Snatchers came out in the 50s. And while it has a lot to like about it, the 1978 remake has an immense fan base, and rightfully so. It's a film that really does top the original in many ways, but of course, I don't want to crap on the original. The original had a lot less to work with. It was a much smaller budget film. The 1978 remake, well, it had everything going for it, from cast and crew and director, starring Donald Sutherland, who just owns every single scene he is. He so brilliantly sells the paranoia. The film takes the old premise of pods copying people while they're asleep and turns it into an urban nightmare where alien replacements feel less like a sci-fi trick and more like modern life doing what it does, isolating you, exhausting you, and making you doubt your own senses. On a reported budget of about $3.5 million, it brought in $24.9 million at the domestic box office, an undeniable hit for something so relentlessly bleak. And bleak really is the word. This is not a cozy monster of the week. It's a slow realization that the crowd around you has stopped being human, and you are the last one who noticed. So what makes it worth pulling off the shelf this week? Well, first of all, the mood, the fog, the sound design, everything feels just a little wrong, like the city is quietly holding its breath. The performances play it straight, which makes the paranoia feel very, very real instead of being campy. And the ending is the kind of cinematic gut punch you never, ever forget. And I do want to mention that because I'm a 90s kid, my favorite version of Invasion of the Body Snatchers is actually Body Snatchers from 1993, directed by Abel Ferrara. I think that movie is so creepy, so scary. It takes place on an Air Force base, a military base, I believe, instead of in the open city. And it has a lot to say about how you have to fit into certain communities to get along, and how fitting in could be the demise of everyone. But that one's available on Tubi, by the way. But we're talking about the 1978 original, which I think deserves all the love in the world and a revisit. It is also available on Tubi for free to watch with ads. You can find it on Pluto as well, Plex as well. You can rent it on Fandango at Home, Apple TV, and you can watch it on Amazon Prime with a subscription. So put it on at night, right when your home is quiet. Then look out the window and ask yourself a simple question. If someone replaced you, would anybody notice? Or ask yourself a 1993 question. Where you gonna run? Where you gonna hide? Nowhere. Because there's no one like you left. Now let's jump into our horror birthdays for December 22nd through 28th. And raise a blood-spattered party hat for a few folks celebrating this week. December 22nd, 1974, Heather Donahue is born, the face of the Blair Witch Project, forever linked to found footage dread and that, did we just walk in a circle? Kind of panic. Heather truly made the Blair Witch special, and in part it was because of her fearlessness and willingness to be vulnerable even in a way that people would later make fun of. The moment in the Blair Witch Project where she holds the camera in her face and cries and begs for forgiveness and just sobs and fogs up the camera and the tears and snot start running, that is what makes the movie work. It was, of course, parodied and made fun of by hundreds and hundreds of people, but that's because it was memorable and because most people would not be comfortable to put a performance like that on camera. Happy birthday, Heather. December 24th, 1910, Fritz Leiber is born, a giant of fantasy, horror, and sci-fi, sword and sorcery, urban dread, and genre wit, all in one brain. The man modernized horror with his books Our Lady of Darkness, Conjure Wife, Gather Darkness, The Sinful Ones, and so many short stories and other books. Happy birthday, Fritz. December 25th, 1949, Sissy Spacek is a Christmas baby. Carrie made her an icon, and decades later, she still carries that eerie, grounded intensity in every role she takes on. Have a great birthday and Merry Christmas, Sissy Spacek. And another of horror's lady legends, born on December 27th, 1958, Barbara Crampton, from Reanimator and From Beyond, as well as many modern horror movies, not only as an actress, but as a producer. Barbara Crampton is one of the real ones. She is incredible in anything you put her in, whether you want her to be sleazy or classy or anything in between. You can count on Barbara Crampton to bring it and to bring the scream when is necessary. She's definitely Scream Queen royalty with true range. Happy birthday, Barbara Crampton. And finally, born on December 28th, 1888, F.W. Murnau, silent-era legend and the director behind Nosferatu in 1922, the original vampire movie. The imagery of Nosferatu still feels like a personal nightmare to many, many people who've enjoyed it over the years. A very happy birthday, F.W. Murnau. And for our then and now, we talk about The Exorcist, released on December 26, 1973, to present day. When The Exorcist opened the day after Christmas, it didn't just scare people. It changed a genre as we know it. The mainstream would never be the same. The film's realism and its refusal to wink or show its hand, the way it treats faith and fear as equally heavy forces, it's the blueprint so many modern possession stories still chase after desperately to this day. One of my favorite things about The Exorcist is that I am not a religious person, but it's like the Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Catholicism when you watch The Exorcist, and to an extent The Omen as well. When you put on The Exorcist, you are a Roman Catholic for the entire runtime of the film. You learn the rules, you learn the mythos, and you get scared. As we mentioned before, The Exorcist isn't available to stream free anywhere or even with a subscription right now. You'll have to rent it or buy it digitally wherever you like to do that sort of thing, like Amazon Prime or Fandango at home. But a perfect then and now double feature would be watch The Exorcist and then put on just about any modern possession movie, trying to be the next Exorcist. You'll feel the difference in the first 5 minutes. Many have come close, damn close, but no one has truly unseated the king. And for our weekly recommendation, I really suggest you watch the aforementioned The Faculty from 1998. It's fast, funny, and nastier than people remember, and because it's a Spot the Imposter movie, it becomes an instant party watch with friends. Trying to figure out who the weird little creature worm alien things are living inside of is a lot of fun if you're into that kind of thing, and we obviously are here. So give The Faculty a rewatch, and I assure you, it'll be a great palate cleanser for after your holiday goings-on. Again, it's available to watch on Paramount Plus with your subscription and on the Roku channel, Tubi, and Amazon Prime. And that's your tour through December 22nd through 28th in horror history. If you found a new movie to watch or a weird anniversary rabbit hole to fall into, do me a favor and share this episode with a friend who loves spooky stuff. And if you want more, it's all right here on the Weekly Spooky feed. Before this show, you heard a brand new Christmas horror story written by the one and only Keith Tomlin. Really worth a listen. And tomorrow, we have another on Wednesday ready to scare you into your holiday. And of course, have a very Merry Christmas, a safe and secure holiday with your loved ones. And while you're at it, maybe watch a couple horror movies. I mean, Silent Night, Deadly Night ain't gonna watch itself, kids. You gotta put that thing on. And remember, it's always Christmas on the warm side of the door. So until next Tuesday, I'm your host Enrique Couto telling you, our days are numbered. Because that's how you tell them apart. Till next time.